Trustee Brown Marino is absent. Mayor, at this time, we do not have a quorum. Do we need to, actually, we do have. We need to contact Tierney, though,
But
right?
we need to call trustee Tierney. Oh, I thought you had. You're gonna call him now.
We're gonna call Tierney. It's gonna be for you.
We did that before we called him.
Hello?
Hi, trustee Tierney?
Trustee Tierney, this is Clerk McGrew. We just did attendance roll call. Can you please answer here?
Here.
Mayor, you now have a quorum.
Yep.
Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the board, good evening. We do have a physical quorum at the meeting. We have the three trustees physically present here tonight, plus the mayor that creates a quorum. The clerk is here also. A notice was received by the village in accordance with the rules that trustee Tierney was requesting to participate electronically. And he is permitted under the rules to participate electronically unless a motion objecting to the member's electronic attendance is made, seconded, and approved by 2/3 of the members of the village of Broadview physically present at the meeting. If no such motion is made or fails, then he is able to attend. I would ask, Madam Chair, can we call, see if anyone has a motion objecting to trustee Tierney participating at this meeting electronically?
Trustee Ely?
No.
Trustee Horn?
No.
Trustee Abraham?
Madam Chair, there seems to be no motion objecting to trustee Tierney participating electronically. Accordingly, he has satisfied all the conditions set forth in the village code.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, can we go through the, call it order? So
We'll
call-
proceed at this time with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone will please stand. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you now please have a moment of silence? Thank you. Next item on the agenda, item 2, public comment. The Village of Broadview encourages citizen input. Those wishing to address the village board under public comments must fill out the attached speaker request form and submit it to the village clerk prior to the start of the board meeting. The president will then call your name at the appropriate time when addressing the village board. Please limit your remarks to 3 minutes. When the president recognizes you, please state your name and address for the record and speak loudly. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated. Madam President, at this time I have received no public comment requests.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Item 3, communications. I have none at this time. We'll move to item 4, consideration to approve the following minutes. Minutes from the regular board meeting, August 6, 2018.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Horn, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President, open for discussion.
Trustee Ely?
No comment.
Trustee Tierney?
Yes, I'd like to go number, I don't know if it's a number, but it's the third item down. Everyone stood to pledge allegiance to the flag. You see that?
Yes.
Trustee Jones did not stand and remained standing during that pledge of allegiance.
Trustee Tierney, I'll make a note of that and make the corrections on the notes, on the minutes, and get them back out to you guys.
Thank you.
Trustee
you, sir.
Horn?
No other comments.
Thank you. Trustee Horn?
No comments.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call? Vote.
Roll call, trustee Ely.
Yes.
Trustee Tierney.
Yes.
Trustee Jones is absent. Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Brown Marino is absent. Madam President, this passes 4-0. Next item on the agenda. Item 5, consideration to approve expenditures, grand total of all funds, $465,654.38.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Horn. Madam President, open for discussion.
Madam Chair of the Finance Committee, can you read the warrant list, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Our first vendor is Alfred Rowan, $4,000. Commonwealth Edison, $2,663.11. Constance Delane, $3,000. Cummins Sales and Service, $4,429. Cypress Realty LLC, $4,300. Delgado Law Group, $40,567.90. Edwin Hancock Engineering, $59,470. Geno's Heating and Plumbing, $85,395. Grasso Graphics, $3,012.61. H&H Electric Company, $2,820.20. Illinois Counties Risk Management Trust, $26,879. Mid-American Water, $2,730.95. Montana and Welch, $5,787.21. Mulder's Collision Center, $4,162.77. Reporting Systems, Inc., $2,927. Resource Management Associates, $6,545. Riley Construction, $160,434.09. Timothy Hicks, CPA, $8,000. TNT Towing and Recovery, $4,550. Windstream, $3,517.69. Our total expenditures over 2,500 is $435,191.53. Our total expenditures is a grand total of $465,654.38 for a percentage of total of 93%.
Thank you. Trustee Ely?
I had a couple of questions about a couple invoices from Geno's Plumbing, but I'm thinking we'll get an explanation from the Public Works Director during his report.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Horn?
No comments or questions.
Trustee Abraham?
None whatsoever, and I did notify everybody via email that the bills were available to be viewed, as well as if they wanted a copy of a particular invoice to notify Sandra, Madam Mayor, as we're here trying to just be in control of everything so the trustees can get a preview of everything. So if there's any questions, we can address them accordingly.
Thank you. Trustee Tierney?
No questions, no comments.
Thank you. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, you can, Madam President. Trustee Ely?
Yes.
Trustee Tierney?
Yeah,
Trustee Jones is absent. Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Brown Marino is absent. Madam President, this passes 4-0 to pay the bills.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, item 6, Village Officer Reports. Given at every second meeting, we'll start with the Building Department, Commissioner Dave Upshaw.
Good evening, Mayor.
Keep talking.
Testing.
Still getting it on the report.
Just speak up.
Good evening, Mayor, Village Board residents, Village of Broadview, for the Building Department for the month of July 2018 is as follows. The Village of Broadview Building Department had over $24,000 in revenue. Approximately 67% of that came from permit fees. We had 26 complaints. Of the 26 complaints, they were mostly of the following: high grass, dangerous buildings, garbage, vacant property, and contractor registrations. Regarding the building department RFQ, the committee, we had 3 interviews that took place that were with TPI, BNF, and Safe Build for providing code enforcement services, inspection services, and plan reviews for the village of Broadview. I submitted my recommendation to the mayor, and we met actually last week. The West Cook Regional Enterprise Committee, we met with the Opportunity Alliance to discuss the West Regional Enterprise Zone breakfast that's going to be held tomorrow, August 21st, from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. This breakfast will be held at Triton College in the Robert M. Collins Auditorium. It's the R East campus. which is located at 2000 Fifth Avenue and River Grove. The villages of Bellevue, Broadview, Maywood, Merrill's Park, and Cook County are working together to expand existing businesses and bring new businesses to the region. We are preparing an application to create the West Regional Empowerment Zone. Businesses within this enterprise zone are eligible to receive tax credits and tax exemptions designed to boost economic development and job creation. Companies residing in the zone can receive sales tax exemptions, investment tax credit, regulatory relief, and improved government services. So this meeting, again, will be tomorrow at Triton College from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Currently, we have a total of 12 construction projects going on. We had, for those of you who weren't able to attend, Ross is open, and we just completed Chicago Tribune, which is in Bill Copeland's building, which is Solo Labs. They have a distribution center as well. We are also in the process of selling 2 village-owned properties, 2301 and 2305 Roosevelt Road, as well as 2126 South 17th Avenue. Before you this evening, I believe that testing. Before you this evening, I believe that you have a contract before you, and there were 3 changes to that contract, and I can discuss them now or wait till it comes up as an agenda item. Outside of that, Mayor, Board, that concludes my report for the Building Department.
Well, I'd like to hear him discuss the changes now, so we'll be prepared when it comes up on the agenda.
Yeah, makes sense.
Do you have the document in front of you, the real estate contract?
It's the one with Ms. Lynch or another?
Yes.
Yes, it's a real estate purchase contract between the Village of Broadview and Ms. Lynch for 2305, or 2301 through 2305.
You can proceed to tell us
Okay.
what the changes
No.
are.
Okay, I'm sorry. Number 1, where it says the purchase price for $300,000. If you look at the attached rider, the property 2301 to 2305 is going to be purchased as is. Number 2, as it relates to paying the broker, the buyer is going to do that. The Village of Broadview is not going to do that because we did not retain a real estate agent to sell the property. And number 3, there are 3 PIN numbers for the address 2301 through 2305. There are 2 PIN numbers for 2301, and there's 1 for 2305. Those are the changes. Ms. Lynch has already signed the document, and so we just ask the village to consider that, sign the document, so we can move forward with the closing as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, that concludes my report.
Trustee Horn,
No questions, thanks.
Trustee Abraham,
None.
thank you, Commissioner Upshaw. Oh, Trustee Tierney?
No question.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Roll call, Madam President?
It's a committee report. It's
Call
committee
some. Put my fish in. Next item on the agenda, Finance Department, Finance Director, 7 cases.
Good evening, everyone. I want to report out on the general fund for the period ending July 31st, 2018. For the month of July, we had revenues of $1.1 million. We had expenditures of $972,214 for a net surplus for the month of for July of $167,698. Year-to-date for the 3 months ending July 31st, 2018, we have total revenues year-to-date of $3,170,152. Expenditures for the 3 months ending July 31st, 2018 is $3,239,184 for a net deficit of $69,032. As you can see, the revenues, we should be about 25% of our total revenues for the year. We're slightly behind that pace at 20.3%. And for expenditures, we're slightly behind where we would expect to be on a straight line basis of about 21.3%. The only department that is over budget at this point is the finance department, and that's due to the liability and workers' comp insurance that was paid out for the year out of that department. So for, in next month's report, those costs will be allocated across all departments, so the finance, so that unfavorability will go away. Besides that, I think the only other things that we need to report out on from a finance committee meeting is we have a finance committee meeting tentatively scheduled for September 5th. And the location will be tentative based on construction, whether or not the village hall will be available, but an agenda and location will be posted in a timely fashion via the clerk's office. We are underway with the audit for fiscal year 18, so we're diligently trying to get that completed. And we're moving forward with the bonds, the issuance of the bonds. We've had a favorable bond rating report that's in draft form at this point. So once it's final, we'll definitely speak to that. Any questions at this time?
Well, I see we're still operating at a deficit, but we've cut into it a lot. So it's. I also noticed that pretty much.
Wait, before you said we're operating in a deficit, what do you for the year? Is that what you're saying?
Up to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 3/4 of the fiscal year gone. It's a slight one, but it's less than it was.
But you have to remember also that revenues don't come in
right
evenly throughout the year, and we
Correct.
don't spend evenly throughout the year. So it will fluctuate throughout the year.
Yeah, I noticed that. And most, with the exception of, I guess, executive and it was somebody else, most departments are running slightly ahead of budget, but not uncontrollable at this point. So
No, I think the only is finance, the only one that's ahead of budget at this point.
well, Public Works is at 90.3. That's close, but I can see we've got time to level things off.
What are you referring to? For Public Works?
Well, you're right. Public Works personnel 67, non-personnel.
That's
the
versus
others
last year.
is slightly over contracts, all that. Yeah. Okay. I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you, trustee Tierney,
I have no comments.
trustee Horn,
No comments.
trustee Abraham.
None.
Okay, the only thing that I would like to say is that when you look at the fiscal year 2019 budget and the fiscal year where you're saying Public Works is running at 90.3%, that was last year's budget. So thank you, Director Hicks.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is Fire Department, Fire Chief Tracy Kendall.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, and residents.
Good evening.
This is my report for the month of July. During the past month, we responded to 250 emergency calls. 62 of those calls were contract calls. We also had one rubbish fire on 13th Avenue, a garage fire in Westchester, a house fire in Maywood, and one box alarm fire in Mount Prospect. If anyone remembers that, that was the apartment fire. Sometimes they call us out for an interdivisional box. We sent 6 vehicles from the 17 departments we're involved in to attend to that fire. In fire prevention, we had 197 total monthly activities and 121 violations cited. We had a building on 15th Avenue that was deemed unsafe for occupancy, and ongoing efforts are being made to open. In training, we trained on our new ambulance, which is now in service, Ambulance 7. Again, we will have 2 ambulances running again next month once we bring down the overtime and have our 2 new hires. We also have Triton students riding along on our engine, and Loyola students through the month of November will be on our ambulance. We did our regular building plans for familiarization at the library, the pumping station, and Home Depot. This month we billed a total of, for all of our contracts, a total of $41,050, and we also are about to sign our Heinz agreement for EMS for another year. And that is my report. I'm sorry. back up. September 27th, please put that in your calendars. That is our open house. It is going to be from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the fire department on the apparatus floor. And same as last year, the explorers will be selling hot dogs to raise funds for camp. And we will be doing our last, right before 8 o'clock, we will be doing our side-by-side burn to show you what sprinklers and smoke detectors can do. And again, our smoke detector program and our safety home inspections are still going on. So please call Inspector Monks if you are interested in either of those.
And again, the date is September 27th.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And this year's, actually, the Chief Hugling's going to speak about our McHeroes Night that we do every year. We both pick a fund to put it towards. My fund this year will be for police and fire for suicide prevention. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you, Chief. Trustee Hill?
Thank you, Tracy.
Trustee Horn?
Thanks.
Trustee Abraham?
With the smoke detectors, Chief, how many numbers are you up at? 'Cause I've been running-
100 and, I think he said 106 as of yesterday that we've installed.
Yeah, at the last meeting,
So-
I paid you guys a compliment because I ran into a resident at the local store, and she said she called and she said it was very well done. She was very happy.
That's
with this.
wonderful.
And she, same thing, she had one in there, and he said she had a better situation, and 4 of them, so.
And I
Yeah.
hope that those who are listening on the live feed know, I mean, we've gone up 30 every meeting I've come to, so people are hearing about it, so we just keep getting that word out there.
Thank you. Thank you again for you and your staff doing that.
Thank you. Trustee Tierney?
Chief, how's the repair work going on engine 7?
I'm hoping that'll be done by the end of this month. They said the very latest, that September 3rd weekend, which is Labor Day weekend, so no later than that, and we're staying under budget.
Okay, great, thank you. No further questions.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Next item on the agenda, Police Department. Police Chief, Deputy.
Good evening.
Good evening.
During the month of July, the Broadview Police Department responded to 1,364 calls for service. We registered 4 individuals for sex offenders, 1 resident for employment. 50 cases were assigned to the Detective Bureau, with a total of 246 being assigned to them, 180 closed with 35 arrests. As the Chief mentioned, October 25th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. will be our McHeroes Night at McDonald's. The police departments are, we will be, Special Olympics will be proceeds for our fund. We also had on July 31st, with members, Broadview Maywood public officials and 911 board did the groundbreaking ceremony on, July 23rd out front here. If you can see, the excavating's going on, the footings are being in place, and the actually walls are starting to go up. On July 31st, bid package 3 was read here in the council chambers. That consisted of general trades, framing and drywall, ceiling, painting, fire protection, plumbing, electrical, and landscaping. Paul Kurtz will be here at the next meeting, and he'll give you more of a detailed who was awarded the contracts on that. I also had a meeting with Safe Speed, which is the red light camera, to see if they would do a study for us on 25th and Roosevelt. Once they came in, we found out that Roosevelt Road has 27,000 cars that go up and down Roosevelt Road every day. 25th Avenue has 17,000 that go north and south. So what they're willing to do is come out and do a study. They're going to set the cameras up for 24 hours and see if there's any violators or how many violators there are. If we qualify, they'll report it to the Department of Transportation, see if we qualify for red lights in those areas. 17th and Cermak also is another intersection. I just forwarded the information from North Riverside. I had to wait for their crash data because half that intersection is North Riverside's. 17th and Cermak have a lot more cars. They have about 35,000 cars going down Cermak Road every day. So we're trying to see if there's any violators to help stop. We have double-digit accidents at each of these intersections. So hopefully by next meeting I'll be able to have the results of that. The last department head meeting, I forwarded the clerk a copy. We're going to, our block parties, we're going to have a more structured form. instead of just having a piece of paper, you know, requesting the block parties, it will be on the website. There'll be a structured form, and it will also have a signature form for the residents. 50% of the block they don't have to attend, but they have to say, yes, we're willing to have our blocks, you know, our street closed. So I think this will flow a little quicker, and the clerk will be the only one with the paper copy. Everyone else will get a scanned copy. I'm going to have more detail on it next meeting, but we had a pretty big operation that started in May of this year. We call it Operation Lexington. We took down 3 big drug dealers in the area. We worked with Maywood and Cook County gang assault units. Like I said, could I pass it on, Mayor? Right. So we actually ended up arresting 4 individuals. We seized 4 vehicles, took a large amount of narcotics and cash. They were using Lexington as their delivery point, so we shut them down. Also, Officer Larson was a pretty big start last meeting, and yet he gets into something else. So, Alliance Against Intoxicated Motorists have recognized Steve Larson for his DUI enforcement for this year. So. Another kudos for him. And that's my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Egan.
I just got a quick question. You mentioned the red light cameras. You're going to request that they do a study.
Yes.
But during that portion, you also said that we've been suffering double-digit accidents at the intersections you named.
We have about 12 accidents there at 25th and Roosevelt for the past few years. North Riverside at 17th and Cermak, we have about 12, and North Riverside has about 20.
Really?
Yeah. Department of Transportation, they come up with their own figures.
Right.
The paperwork I have, we have a few more accidents than what they're showing. So I can show more.
Have we been writing tickets, speeding, red light, any?
It's a case by case. I'm not too sure.
Oh.
What this will do is 24 hours, no cost to us, and they'll monitor it and they'll give us the results in 2 weeks. It should be up by Tuesday or Wednesday this week.
Now, I was wondering because this would be the 3rd study for those intersections, and I'm wondering what's changed. You know, a few more cars on the road, of course.
A lot of cars.
Worse drivers, maybe?
A lot of traffic.
All right, thanks.
Trustee Tierney?
I have no questions or comments.
Trustee Horn?
I'm glad to hear about Steve Larson related to the DUI enforcement. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Trustee Abraham?
Yes, I'd like to commend Officer Larson as well as you looking into the red light cameras. I think that's a good idea, and we should be exploring it, so thank you on that.
And Chief, I just want to congratulate Officer Larson on the DUI. That's really a big deal. We want to keep intoxicated drivers off the road and protect, you know, the other drivers that drive on the roads. The other thing that I wanted to address was the block party form. So once the form, we have it in a format that I think is conducive for everybody to use. So once it's up and available, we'll put it on the website and make sure we circulate it so that the community know that we have a form and it's not the way that it's been circulated in the past. So thank you, and I think the clerk may want to
Yes,
add one
please,
thing.
if I may, Madam President, speaking of Officer Larson, I waited specifically for the police chief's report, just to read briefly excerpts of this letter that I received from the chief, and this was directed to him from a Chicago police officer, June Spears, and this talks about a loved one that sustained a knee injury at a basketball game, and I won't read all the details, but they wanted to particularly thank Officer Larson, who applied the perfect blend of police discretion, training, wit, rationalization, and investigative skills. In turn, Officer Larson realized that this was not an arrest situation, but a dilemma where an individual needed medical attention and or to be returned home with family. And it goes on to give other accolades and all, but again, Officer Larson is on fire, and we appreciate all of our departments. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, next item on the agenda is Public Works Department Director Matt Ames.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees, and all in
Good
attendance. So we can expedite this. The street resurfacing, as you probably already know, is concluded. We've got some surface patching that's yet to occur, and I believe the contractors are aiming for next week to do those areas that we've carved out, did water main repairs and some other things. The sod, we're gonna push back the sod replacement until mid to late September for obvious reasons. We want to take advantage of the rainy season. The department answered 44 complaints, or received 44 complaints in the month of July. And they ranged from potholes, sidewalks. The bulk of them came from forestry, tree trimming. So obviously we're still out removing trees as staffing permits. So we did have a spike in our water main breaks. Obviously there's, and I've been saying this for the last several years, there's 2 periods that we're gonna experience high volume water main breaks. That is the dead of winter and peak usage of water in the summertime. So I believe Trustee Ely at some point had some questions about it, Mayor, and I'll respond to it at some point. We had 11 sick days, 27 vacation days, 2.5 personal days, and the jury day, Mayor, was actually, she was not selected. So there was no check to get back to the village. Lastly, our LMO2s have been accepted by the Department of Natural Resources, and briefly I'll read a paragraph. Department of Natural Resources, Office of Water Resources has reviewed the proposed water system improvement plan for Broadview and determined that it is acceptable. Based upon the information provided, the proposed actions appear to be appropriate to allow Broadview to reduce non-revenue water as percent by volume of water supply. Currently, the department's regulatory threshold for non-revenue water is 12%, and it will decrease to 10% for water year 2019. Every year, once again, we have to account for, or should I say, give an accounting for the unaudited water that we lose underground via water main breaks. There's been minimal theft, leakage, and everything else that occurs that happens. For instance, even the mortar that we're using out here for the new 911 center. To a large degree, that would be unaccounted for water that we have to, if nothing else, keep below the 12% threshold this year. And next year, it's going to be a little bit more stringent. So to everybody involved in our facility plans and our capital planning, it is critical that we have those things done on a timely basis, so in a timely fashion. But Mayor, that concludes my report, and at this time I'll entertain questions or comments from you or the board.
Okay, Trustee Ely?
I just had a question, a couple of invoices from Geno's Plumbing. I forgot the exact date of something, approximately the 13th of July, 2913 Gardner Road. Gino opened up 15 feet of, I guess, soil or whatever. There was a massive, it was an emergency situation, massive water main break. I guess he replaced close to 15 feet. He cut some pipe out and put a new pipe in. A week, 10 days later, he came back to the same spot, opened up a smaller hole, and put a sleeve on it or whatever to stop the leak. And in both cases, there was a lot of overtime that the village is being asked to pay, and we're spending taxpayers' money. Did they not do it right the first time? I thought you and Chris might have the explanation. Why did he have to return to the same spot in less than a month? But I'm thinking you may not have the answer to that particular address. I'm just asking. I'll remind you, and you can find out what happened there, and we can talk.
I do have an answer for that particular address. Gardner Road is problematic, especially the stretch of Main that is right in front of Wilbert Funeral Vault. As a matter of fact, we've got inquiries as to when that surface patching is going to occur. So in my 9-year, 10-year here, I would imagine we probably had close to about a dozen breaks just in that one section. So what we have discussed was replacing a large portion of that with the facility plans, and also the capital improvement water main
All right.
breaks.
Well, I can barely hear you, so I know they can barely hear you.
So-
But you're saying replace a larger stretch?
Absolutely. So you'll know the history of not just that area, but also 13th Avenue, for example. We have quite a few main breaks there that occur pretty much in the same area. So we've got 100 linear feet of, and this is hypothetical, or should I say an exaggeration. We've got 100 feet of linear pipe that's aged. Water main breaks occurs. They come in, they excavate, they find it, and typically, if in fact we can sleeve it, which is the most efficient or cost-effective method for repairing these, we'll sleeve it. And for those of you that have not seen the sleeve, it's like a big Band-Aid, except with, it's lined with rubber, and obviously it's encased in metal to make sure that it is capable of dealing with the 62 pounds of pressure that's within our distribution system. And what we've seen over the years is that a week, a month, a day later, a break will occur 2 feet away from the repair. So the excavation has to start again, the repair has to start again, and typically we'll try and sleeve it. But in the case of Gardner Road, we've got so many sleeves on that stretch of pipe that we couldn't put another Band-Aid on it. So a section was removed, and you're absolutely correct. As soon as the water was turned back on, gradually, I might add.
Pressure.
Absolutely not. So we've identified problematic areas. So again, I gave a report years ago that you could literally close your eyes and throw a dart and determine where you want to start replacing water mains in the village of Broadview, because they occur all over, okay? But over the last couple of years, we have identified 13th Avenue, just south of Roosevelt Road, that we've had quite a few water main breaks from Roosevelt clear down to the Park District. Gardner Road, 25th Avenue, and Gardner Road and 25th Avenue, along with Roosevelt Road, are obviously our main concerns, because it doesn't take us long to lose a fall into a critical condition, where we might have to put a boil water order out for residents to use the water. So what we've tried to do, working with the village engineers and also the finance department, is identify those bigger mains. 8 inches is what's on Gardner Road. 8 inches is what's on 25th Avenue. We've got 16-inch mains on Roosevelt Road. So those are the mains that we want to replace immediately, barring the finances are there.
80-year-old pipe.
Absolutely. Mains, the residential mains are smaller mains. We've got 6-inch mains for the most part, with the exception to a 4-inch main that is slated, actually budgeted for, to be replaced on 17th Avenue from Harvard down to the village municipal lot, where the Blue Note, the corner of 17th Avenue is being developed. But those main breaks, if in fact they occur, we have the ability to pinch a valve, in other words, just kind of turn the valve back to allow residents to continue receiving water, but also to reduce the flow of water that we're losing until the repair is made. We don't have the same luxury on the 8-inch or the bigger lines.
It's huge, yeah.
Well, again, you know, we just had one over here at Strike Force, and I believe the police called us pretty much all weekend. So we're over there, we're shutting down valves that may or may not hold. So now we have to, you know, venture out into residential areas, and it might, again, affect some residential blocks to, in essence, shut down some of these breaks. So, yeah, I'm aware of what occurred on Gardner Road. It's not an anomaly. It's, unfortunately, it's more common than not. So,
All right, thanks.
Trustee Tierney?
I have no comments or questions.
Trustee Horn?
Hi, thanks for answering all my phone calls over the past few weeks, so I appreciate it. You made the comment related to as staff permits, so I'm assuming that either your team is not fully staffed and you have positions available, or a lot of people are taking off at the same time.
you got a combination of both. And let me say this, once again, we've got a no vacation, a personal day usage policy from November or right after Thanksgiving until the second week of March. for obvious reasons. Snow and ice is probably our biggest responsibility outside of the water. So everybody's clamoring to get their vacation, personal times in. Couple that with the sick days that they are allotted. If they don't use them, they lose them. So, today I had 4 staff members, 2 that were scheduled off for vacation, 2 called in sick. So again, where we might want to target specifically removing trees or trimming back trees, we have to curve back because we really need a full staff out there. Everybody is responsible for different aspects. It is a dangerous scenario.
Okay. Have we ever entertained the idea of having somebody be on call or staff members be on call?
When you say on call,
Meaning carry a pager or some form of a device where they're not there all day, but they're there. You can call them and have them come in when emergencies happen.
We do.
How many people are on call at one time?
No, it depends on how many people are needed.
Okay.
Because first off, what we do when we call in for overtime, we have to call in according to seniority. So, with exception to our civil servant, who's been there for 30-something years, and our mechanic, we start with our foreman and we work our way down the department. So, depending on the nature of the emergency, those individuals are called in. But no, we don't call anybody in off of vacation personal days because somebody didn't show up for work because they called off sick. No, we don't do that.
Okay, thank you. That's it, thanks.
Trustee Abraham?
Yes, in regards to Trustee Ely, Ed did let me know about, he noticed the invoices regarding Gino's Plumbing. And looking at the invoices, and I know Trustee Tierney had met with them just so we could have some more details applied. So if you look at the invoices and you look at what they had to do, and I know that particular site, because obviously it was the same address but on different days, you could see, as Director Ames was saying, where they were at on the property at one point, because it's saying it was a driveway, and then if you look a little bit further down on the second invoice, it talks about that they had to go onto the parkway and they do the sizes and they talked about the labor. So as far as the invoices with them, and I know some people had questioned it, some other trustees had questioned it, at this point in time, I mean, it's pretty much very detailed as far as what they're doing, how much equipment they're using, manpower. So it does make it, on our side as trustees, more informative so that we can review it properly and along with the pictures being attached. So definitely want to thank Trustee Tierney for sitting down with them and talking to them about that. And again, Trustee Ely, definitely appreciate you, because now we get to question a little bit more and figure out more stuff, so it helps us to be more informed. So I thought, it's clearly there, so they did an excellent job.
And to your point, a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Pardon me?
I said, to your point, a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Well,
so
right, and then if you look at how they structured it, it's very explanatory. It's very simple to follow. So again, they do it step by step. So that helps a lot too, Madam Mayor. So
Okay. Thank you, Director Ames.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the Administrative Department, Village Administrator Leticia Jones.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, and residents. My report for July 2018. Right now, we're we're looking for servers. We have several quotes that are in. I'm working with the finance team in order so that we can get a complete package to the mayor for review, and then we'll extend out to the trustees. We are, just so you know, our server right now is 10 years old, so it is imperative that we get one immediately. So that's our task as far as the mayor has put before us in order to get the 3 proposals to her so we can all review them, including with the finance team, so that we can get that information to you promptly. So that will be done in the next, I'll have the board report, on my next board report of our findings. Also, when it comes to our e-pay conversion, we are getting our credit card machines in where our residents, our businesses will be able to pay online when they come in for our water bill. Training will be with my staff on this Friday, which is the 24th. So where we have 3 machines, we'll have it for we'll have it for the building department, we'll have it for the police department, and also for administration. So where we'll be able to pay, and we take all credit cards, okay? And that's through ePay. Paylocity, we have connected, and we had another task that was put before us from the mayor, so where I'm working with our finance team when it comes to our web time. We have web pay where we pay with our payroll, so we're connecting web time with that, and that will give all of our time when our employees punch in, we'll go connect to payroll, so it'll go automatic. So we'll see firsthand live time of when they actually punch in and out. Lastly, we have our union contracts. We still have a couple outstanding, which is our sergeants. We're pending to reschedule that appointment, and that'll be in September. Our firefighters, we have that TA for September, and then also we're in meetings now with Public Works Administration and Building. That next meeting will be tomorrow, the 21st at 5 o'clock. We did also, I want to let the mayor and the board know, we did complete and finalize our contract with patrolmen. So we're thankful for that. So Mayor, trustees, that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Ely. Trustee Tierney,
No question.
trustee Horn,
Nothing, thanks.
trustee Abraham.
None?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Madam President, for the record, I just wanted to let you know that each of the department head reports are being held in the clerk's office.
Thank you.
On record. Next item, item 7, old business. We have none at this time. Item 8, new business. A, an ordinance amending Title 7, Chapter 4 of the Village Code regarding overnight parking in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham and seconded by trustee Horn. Madam President, it's open for discussion.
Thank you, trustee Ely.
Only that it's good to see this on the agenda for those residents in the Village of Broadview that have a need for overnight parking, and good work. It's long overdue.
Thank you. Trustee Tierney?
I'd like to echo trustee Ely's comments. I'd also like to thank him, trustee Horn, and Chief Hughley for getting this involved and getting it going. Maybe the chief can speak about the number of call-ins for overnight parking since we lifted the ban, and you'll get an idea why it's so important to get it done.
Okay, he's coming to the mic now. Go ahead,
Yeah, we do have a motion pending, and it is for the document that was presented. And I believe that I will deal with a procedural matter, and Madam Chair, if it's okay, turn it over to the police chief for a substantive matter in regards to this. I would ask the corporate authorities to turn to page 7 of the ordinance that's before you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And on page 7, okay, so on page 7, if you look, there are numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Number 7 is zone 7 regarding vehicles under 8,000 pounds permitted. However, and semi-tractor parking is allowed, but no trailers allowed. And then there's a Roman numeral 1 and a Roman numeral 2. I have discussed this with the chief, and that is actually encapsulated in part with regards to zone 3, vehicles under 8,000 pounds only. As such, and I'll go through the procedures of it, then I'll ask the police chief to address the substance of it. What we would ask is to strike number 7, the words 7, zone 7, vehicles under 8,000 pounds permitted. However, truck and semi-tractor parking is allowed, but no trailers allowed. And then adjust Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2 thereunder, and change those to zone 3. So it would be, zone 3 would be added such that the terms would be Roman numeral 3, 11th Avenue south of Roosevelt Road to the alley, comma, east and west sides of the street, semicolon, and then it would be Roman numeral 4, persons using a zone 7 permit must call the Broadview Police Department prior to parking in said zone lot to ensure availability. That is the long-winded and somewhat convoluted procedures of that. Okay. More importantly is what the police chief's going to start and explain as to why we need that.
Okay.
My last statement will be this: because there is a motion pending, we would need to amend this. Okay. So we would need to amend the motion to make the changes. If you are in alignment with that, the police chief will go, and explain, and then I'll come back and change the ordinance if that goes through.
Should we make a motion now, or wait?
If you don't mind, I would prefer to hear what the police chief has to say about the substance of that before a motion to amend is made, Madam Trustee.
Like Council said, Zone 7 was originally marked for 11th and Roosevelt. Remind me of that. This is more of a kind of a color-coded map of the zones that is in the written ordinance.
Thank you.
We have two for trustee Tierney.
And on the bottom, you'll see in the green, Zone 3, originally with the ordinance, Zone 7 would have been on 11th Avenue, which is right next to, it's close to 13th Avenue. So we just grouped those zones together. The truck parking though, we still want to keep that in there, but only allow truck parking on 11th Avenue. Right next to the hotel room. There might be some people, overnight in the hotel, or even the residents that have a semi, they can park up there. We don't want them parking in the residential areas. That's the reason, so we're just going to combine 7 and 3, basically. We had a couple committee meetings, and prior to that, we had the overnight parking. There's no parking 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., and we had a limit of 4 times per car in a household. We had a committee meeting, and we had to get this going first, so we lifted that. So we allowed overnight parking. Since July 1st till now, our last committee meeting was last Wednesday, 4,000 people have called in for permission. That's too much. Our dispatchers for 3 solid hours are just taking overnight vehicle calls. So this is a long time coming here with this. So what you have in front of you is basically, it gives you a little visual what the ordinance is doing. It's kind of color coded. And if you see the placards, so that would be, this is an example of the placards that will be hanging from the rearview mirror. The little white part in the middle is just a sticker, and every month the sticker could be changed. You could peel it off, they could put it back on. This way you're not taking it off your window every single month. It's a simple placard in the window. It's easy for the officer to see at night too. So, I don't know if I answered your question.
Oh, absolutely. I just wanted to see the sticker, good.
Yeah, this one here, and it's a company in town that's doing it for us too.
Trustee Horn?
Did I understand correctly, we want to amend zone number 7, Roman numerals 1 and 2 to zone number 3?
Can I make a suggestion, Madam Chair? Would it be acceptable, Madam Chair and Trustee Horn, if the motion to amend is made after the final two trustees have any questions? Because if they want any other amendments, then we can consolidate all of them into one amendment.
So you're saying don't ask the question now? I was just trying to confirm what he was
I
saying.
am not, obviously, you are the elected official, you could ask the question anytime you want to, but I would recommend that maybe we consider doing it at a later time after all the trustees have made their comments, and see if there's any other amendments.
Okay, I understand. So forget it.
That's it.
That's fine.
Trustee Abraham?
I do, because I was on the committee when Trustee Ely was doing this, and now with Trustee Tierney, and now meeting with Chief Hughley. So yes, it is a long time in coming. Everything on here, from the map to what we're doing, the placards, I mean, it all makes sense. We're keeping it as simple as we can, and make it efficient so that our residents are not as confused, because obviously in some of the meetings, they were very concerned about what was going on. So definitely, I think the way it is now, it's definitely more simplified, easy to understand. The areas are clearly laid out, so, it looks good this time. Very good.
Trustee Horn, you want to amend the motion?
Tierney.
Oh.
Trustee Tierney.
I talked to him. Trustee Tierney? He was the one to make.
Yes, no more comments. Are you voting?
Not yet.
Okay.
Now.
You kind of lost me there.
Yeah, like the minutes of-
I wanted to make sure I understood it,
Oh,
and I
okay.
was saying it correctly.
We need
I would like to make a motion to amend the
I'll
ordinance.
second.
Hold on, Trustee Tierney.
We're ready to get it started. So that's why I wanted to ensure that I understood the amendment initially. So the amendment is to, for zone number 7, Roman numerals 1 and 2 to be reflected under zone number 3, correct? I would like to make a motion to amend the ordinance to reflect zone number 7, Roman numerals 1 and 2 under zone number 3.
Need a second?
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Horn and seconded by trustee Ely for an amendment to amend, reflecting zone 3 with the addition of items, I should say Roman numerals 3 and 4 coming from zone 7 and striking zone 7 language. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Now, do we have further discussion?
No, we're gonna do a roll call, please.
Roll call, Madam President. We're gonna start with trustee Ely,
Yes.
trustee Tierney,
Yes.
trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustee Jones and Brown Marino are absent. Madam President, this passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, item B.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
If I may, I apologize, Madam Chair.
I apologize.
What we
We
did
don't have to
was,
vote.
correct, what we did, we adopted the amendment.
Right.
Now we need the
Adopt.
substantive provision, so
So
we
this
need
is-
the motion to approve the ordinance as amended.
Move to approve the ordinance as amended.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Ely and seconded by trustee Horn to approve the amended ordinance. Now can we have a roll call, Madam President?
Yes.
Trustee Ely,
Yes.
trustee Tierney,
Yes.
trustee Horn,
Yes.
trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustees Jones and Brown Marino are absent. This passes 4-0. Stand corrected. Now, item B, an ordinance authorizing and approving the disposal of personal property for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Ely, seconded by trustee Horn. Madam President?
Trustee Ely?
This is an ordinance, asking for the authority to approve, to dispose of personal property that's in the possession of the police department. And this particular ordinance has an appendix, attached to it that lists each and every item that they're considering. That's it.
Thank you. Trustee Tierney?
I have no comment.
Trustee Horn?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, you can, Madam President. Trustee Ely,
Yes.
trustee Tierney,
Yes.
trustee Horn,
Yes.
trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustees Brown, Marino, and Jones are absent. Madam President, this carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, item C, a resolution, a resolution appointing Sabeta Sierra as a Freedom of Information Act officer for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham and seconded by trustee Horn. Madam President?
Trustee Ely?
No comment.
Trustee Tierney?
No comment.
Trustee Horn?
Nothing, thanks.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Roll call, please.
Roll call, trustee Ely,
Yes.
trustee Tierney,
Yes.
trustee Horn,
Yes.
trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustee Brown, Marino, and Jones are absent. Madam President, this counts 4-0. We carry this 4-0, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Next item, item D, a resolution authorizing and approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Broadview and the County of Cook regarding the grant of transportation funds through the Invest in Cook program for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Let the record show that trustee Jones joined us at 8:31. How you doing?
So reflected.
Okay.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Horn. Madam President, open for discussion.
Trustee Ely?
Well, I'd like to know a little bit more about, how this is going to benefit the Village of Broadview.
Yes, please. You want to step to the mic, Chris?
So this is for the Braga Drive project, which is gonna cost, not the village, it's got a total cost of about $6 million. Of that, for stage one, which is from 25th Avenue to Parks, and then Parks down to 21st Street, that section has a village portion of approximately $600,000. The $145,000 is a grant from Cook County for approximately 25% of that. Nothing the village has to do. It's just a grant from the county.
Thank you.
I read it, you know, but I wanted the rest of the people in the audience to hear that they want to give us a $1.50 too.
Yeah,
So,
that's good news.
I'm done. Okay.
Trustee Tierney?
No comment.
Trustee Jones?
Comment.
Trustee Horn?
Nothing, thank you.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Roll call, please.
Roll call, trustee Ely,
Yes.
trustee Tierney,
Yes.
trustee Jones,
Aye.
trustee Horn,
Yes.
trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustee Brown Marino is absent. This carries 5-0, Madam President.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, item E, an ordinance of the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois, approving a purchase and sale agreement for certain village-owned property between the Village of Broadview and Miss Gloria Lynch.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Horn. She got you by a second, trustee. So for discussion, Madam President.
Trustee Ely?
Well, Commissioner, Mr. Upshaw already has partially explained that it's the sale of the property to Ms. Lynch, who currently occupies it, has done some work, but there's no more outstanding conditions, pretty much as is.
Yes.
Okay.
Trustee Tierney?
No comment.
Trustee Jones?
I have no comment.
Trustee Horn?
Nothing, thank you.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, you can, Madam President. Trustee Ely,
Yes.
trustee Tierney,
Yes.
trustee Jones.
Yeah.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Trustee Horn,
Yes.
trustee Abraham,
Yes.
and trustee Brown Marino is absent. Madam President, this carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, item 9, application for the authority to expend funds totaling $33,120 for the fire department.
Motion to approve.
Second?
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Horn. Madam President, this is open for discussion.
Trustee Ely?
Well, the fire chief always gives us such a thorough explanation of what her purchase order requests are about. Where is she? Please, thank you.
So this is pertaining to the floor, apparatus floor, all but the area where the mechanics bay is, because that didn't need repairs or refurbishing. It really would be a waste of money for how much action goes in that area. It is for the safety of the department, as well as those who come and visit the department. Years ago, we had the grates replaced and the whole floor patched. When they did that, they didn't put the rebar in along the edges, and unfortunately caused over time for the grates to sink again. So they're gonna repair that, as well as do the floor. The company that we chose as Matrix is the only company that gave us references of about 20 fire departments and photos of exactly what we wanted. So they're a great company. We did a lot of research on this, and we are due for this. All the work that was done, the concrete work to repair, needs to be sealed, or that's gonna start to crack over time. It also needs to be done now, in this fiscal year and at this time, because as we get into the colder months, we start to get that cracking, and they can't do the work if it goes under 70 degrees. That is it.
Thank you. Trustee Tierney?
I've spoken with the chief. I know what she's talking about. I've seen the floor, so I'm for it.
Thank you. Trustee
And
Jones?
I have no questions.
Trustee Horn?
Nothing, thank you.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, you can, Madam President. Trustee Ely,
Yes.
trustee Tierney,
Yes.
trustee Jones,
Yep.
trustee Horn,
Yes.
trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustee Brown Marino is absent. Madam President, this passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, item 10, village clerk. Just wanted to mention, it was a pleasure to participate this past week in the Lindop Parade, the back-to-school parade, as well as their back-to-school picnic on Saturday. It was very well organized, very well attended. It was good to see the kids happy about a brand-new school year. They had a really nice show from the Jesse White Tumblers, And just fellowshipping amongst the parents, teachers, and the kids was a really, really good thing for the community. And I wish we can have more of those events so we can actually get together as a village. That concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, item 11, Village President, Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. First of all, I want to say thank you all for attending our board meeting tonight. I would like to welcome back all of our students that's going back to school, whether they're in grammar school, high school, or going away to college. We just wish a good, successful academic school year for all those students that's attending school. On July 2nd, I was approved to be a member of the Triton College Foundation Board, so I'm very, it's an honor, and I'm very excited about being on this board because they're doing a lot of good things at Triton College that we can implement and give back to our community. So being at the table and be able to promote education within our community, those that don't go to a four-year university, there are a ton of opportunities for those students that's at the two-year college or those adult learners that want to get back into a profession. So I'm very happy to be on that board. So I would keep you guys in the loop on what's taking place as it relates to Triton College. The summer is coming to an end, so my office will be reaching out. We're going to be working very hard to recruit volunteers to assist us with some of the village initiatives that we've been partaking on. So we did quite a few this summer. We had the health initiative. We attended back to school events, we set up tables, and it takes literally a whole village to kind of run all of this. And although we do have paid staff that's here, they're not obligated to volunteer their time to give back to the community. So we're reaching out to those that want to participate. I just want to thank, I see Ms. Andrea Senior, she helped us out at Lindop School this past weekend at the back to school event, and she manned the table for us, and that was so huge for us because that allowed me to interact with the parents and the students over at Lindop School. So thank you, Ms. Senior. Be on the lookout for the newsletter. It probably will be coming out over the weekend, but it's some highlighted things that I want you all to take note of. So this year we're going to be honoring our vets. And so we're going to start collecting all the data of all the veterans that's here in town, that's residents, or if they business owners, or if they work within the village, so that we can recognize them doing veterans. So we have a form. We'll need your name, address, and what branch of service in the year that you serve in the military. So we're going to be honoring our vets this coming November. The senior program, the program was implemented many years ago, but we redefined how the program looks so that we can have a better control of how we service the community at large. So it's an application process. The application is inside the newsletter. Everyone has to complete the application. So it's not because you know someone or somebody called and said you want to be on the senior list. There's a criteria that's been put in place that the person that want to take advantage of the snow removal program have to fall into that compliance. We're going to cap it off at a number. We don't know what that number is just yet, but everybody has to apply to be a part of the senior program moving forward. Lastly, a couple of things I want to say too. One thing I learned over this past weekend is that Broadview baseball, we have several teams in town, but most certainly all the teams are not Broadview kids, and I didn't know that until this past weekend. And when I had the conversation with the team for the Yankees, and is it the Boomers?
Bombers.
The Bombers. So those are Broadview residents. The other teams are kids that's playing at our field that are being supported by sponsorships in our village. And so I just want to kind of address that we do have a Little League baseball team that is a travel team that, and I was hoping they would come tonight to be recognized because they had a really good season to be playing on a travel level, and they had some great success. So we want to say kudos to them and the coaches and the parents that support that program. I'm not in opposition to kids playing on the baseball field, but I do believe that if it's our tax dollars, we should be paying for the kids that live here and recruiting those kids to be able to play on the other teams if they're a little bit more successful than the teams that we have in place. And then finally, I would like to say congratulations to Chief Uglin. He did graduate this summer with his bachelor's degree, and so I think that deserves a round of applause. last year when he got appointed to chief, that was one of the conversations that he and I had, and that was a pledge and a commitment that he made, not just to me, but to himself. And to go back to school to be an adult learner and to be in a position of higher leadership such as a chief, sometimes it can be very challenging as you balance your career, your family, and trying to stay in school. So I just want to say congratulations, and I'm super, super proud that you took the initiative to better yourself. So keep going. If that's what you choose to do, I will support that. So with that being said, I just want to say good night and God bless you, and we'll see you after Labor Day. So happy Labor Day.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at this time.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Been properly motioned by trustee trustee Horn, and seconded by Abraham. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition.
Thank you, Trustee Tierney.
This meeting is hereby adjourned at 8:43 p.m.